Welcome everybody to Tier 2 of JKeSport Season 3. This is round 13 from the Azerbaijan circuit in Baku. Quite a difficult circuit today, but should be very entertaining for us as this track always provides some exciting racing, especially given the layout and the long pit straight, one of the longest flat out sections in the entire Formula One calendar. So just getting set for these drivers to take on their qualifying sessions. Just making sure everything sounds good on the stream today. Should be an exciting one. Azerbaijan, one of my personal favorite tracks. Lots of ways this can go. And we do have some championship implications as well today. I believe Johnny 5 will be the first driver out to start a lap in qualifying. With the championship here, just 2 races left to go. Rockstar currently leads Savkov by 52 points. So, unless Savkov is able to, I believe, take a look at the standings real quick. Yes, so Savkov will need to finish in the top 2 tonight if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive going into next week. So Rockstar unable to attend today, but still could manage to clinch the championship. Races in the rain. Alright, fantastic. Thanks, Monkey, for the information. Looks like we're going to have a rain start to the race at least, which is definitely going to shake things up a little bit. We had rain last week in Belgium, and it was led to quite an interesting result. Lots of drama that race. But now in toward the final sector. We'll ride along board with Johnny 5 as he heads down the long flat out section. Eighth gear from the corner before even reaching the DRS zone. Got the car screaming up at 12,000 RPM, and heavy braking zone down into toward turn 1, all the way down to 3rd gear. Clip a little bit of the curve run, take all the curve on exit, short straight down in towards turn 2, another heavy braking zone. Low traction on exit, you got to be very careful on the throttle. Then it's flat out again down towards turn 3, and again a hard braking zone just before 100 meters. You don't want to hit that inside curve. That will unsettle your car. Braking at the 50-meter board, back down to the right into 2nd gear. Short shifting up again into 3rd, into one of the more technical sections of the track. That curve on the inside there runs over just a little bit. It will unsettle you if you catch too much of it. It seems to be okay. Into another one of the trickiest corners on the track. It's tighter than it looks on entrance. Then to the infamous castle section. I'll not be surprised if we see a few drivers struggling through there tonight. Another low traction there. You can see the back end stepping up a little bit. Then into this very fast, flat out double left-hander. Can be tricky, especially in the rain. Then into this corner, you want to be afraid that wall will jump out and get you if you're not paying attention. Looks like Kraz is retired from the session in the castle section, so that's not going to be good for his race. And we will be starting from the back of the field again. Then flying up to the line, flat out. You want to make use of as much of the track as possible. Open the DRS and just pedal all the way to the floor. We'll see what time Johnny sets, and it's a 41.3, so that's a very solid lap time right there. Shelby for Turtles can be next across in the Ferrari this week. That's a 42.0, good enough for 2nd place. K-Dog is coming up next in her AlphaTauri. And across the line will be a 42.1, good enough for 3rd place on the grid. I think next up is going to be Monkey Mafia in the Alpha. Did not race last week in Belgium, but we know he has pace. He was on the podium in Bahrain a couple weeks ago. We'll have to see what kind of lap he gets here. It's an awfully long run down towards the start-finish line. That's right at the end, but that's a 41.3 for Monkey Mafia, and that puts him on the front row of the grid. I think, or that puts him on the top of the timing sheets actually. Chris Money will be the next to finish a lap. Both Red Bulls starting their first flying laps of the session. Chris Money, another driver who we know has pace, and that's a 41.1 for the McLaren driver. Luke Riley's on an out lap, and I think Lasse Safkov also on an out lap. We'll ride along with the with the Red Bull Spaceman, who I believe is going to be the next driver to finish a flying lap through the tight middle sector now. Spaceman had what I believe is his best finish of the season last week in Belgium, coming home in 7th. Takes that corner very nicely. And Johnny goes for another flying lap, and that's a 40.3, so nearly 8/10 up on Chris Money's second place time. I think Shelly the Turtle improves on his time a little bit, but still remains in 4th. Some drivers trying to put 2 laps on the board, and then you might as well here, if we're going to have a rain start to the race, might as well run a couple of laps at a time. Spaceman into turn 15, very easy to get that corner wrong, but he takes it pretty well. Everybody running this session on the sauce as we expect. Final flat out chicane. Oh, a little bit into the wall. He's lucky not to DNF there, but that's definitely going to hinder his lap time. He might just abandon that lap. Looks like he will, so we'll go along the board with Highway. Who was about to cross the line, and that's a 41.6 for 5th place. This one is heading into the pits. Luke Riley finishing up a lap now in the other Mercedes. One of those other drivers who can have some pace from time to time. He's had some struggles throughout the season. But that's a 39.8, so the first driver across into the 30s. Krusty T is invalidated. I think Johnny Five is going to be on the in lap. So the Turtle is way down. Johnny coming into the pits. That's why I think Azerbaijan is in the Renault. Who's on the flying lap at the moment. Had a very solid season so far. Nothing spectacular, but it's gotten some good results for his team. Around the final braking zone now, towards the flat out section. Making use of every inch of the track. Runs a little bit wide on the second apex, but seems to be okay. And abandons his lap at the very last instance. Perhaps not happy with the time there. Decides he'll go again. So we got a few drivers on their out laps, but nobody seems to be on a flying lap at the moment. Although Luke Riley maybe. We'll take a look at the sector time here as he comes towards the end of sector 2. No, he's 3 seconds up, so. Krustier is on an in lap. Money Mafia on an out lap, but he will be the next driver to start. And Safkov has retired from the session. I've completely missed that. Not sure what's happened to him, but it's not going to be good for his championship chances, as he's going to need a top 2 finish in order to stay in contention this week, which we know he's definitely capable of. Here's Monkey through the final couple of corners now, about ready to start his flying lap. Trying to improve on that 41.3. We have the Mercedes drivers out in front, quite a ways ahead of the rest of the field, but still an awfully long way to go in this session. And we know we will see these times improve. Quite a long track as well, so should be expected that 8/10 is definitely something that can be made up here. Crusher T did put in a valid lap time at a 51.6, but he's definitely going to want to improve on that lap. We see Monkey through the middle sector now. 4/10 up already through the first sector, so if he stays on this pace, he could be in for a very solid lap time. Mafia, of course, the Season 2 champion of Tier 2. And towards the castle section now. Takes it very nicely. These two corners very difficult to get exactly right. But Monkey does a pretty good job through there. Love that sideways camera angle through the double left apex and into turn 15. I think we have Chris Money starting a flying lap as well as K-Dog, who's already on that. Sergeant on an outlap as well, and Crustier T on it, I believe. Not entirely sure on that, but here's Monkey Mafia through the final couple of corners. Crustier T does put in a 42.0, so up to 7th place for him. Up to the line, Monkey Mafia. This seems to be a pretty good time, and he's up into 3rd place with a 40.7. K-Dog going to be next through the final couple of corners down towards the main straight. Let's see what kind of time this is going to be. And it's a 41.9, so that's back up into 7th, just ahead of Crustier T once again. Chris Money, oh, and Chris Money's out of the session. Just about caught on board with that. That was a nasty hit through the castle section. Luckily for him, for Chris, he was able to set a lap, even if it wasn't his best, as Crustier T goes off into the runoff area now, so all kinds of drivers having problems. Oh, Spaceman into the wall as well, and that couldn't have been good. Yep, he's lost his right end plate there. On the medium tire, so he's going to have to come into the pits shortly. Get that replaced. Luke Riley, the provisional pole sitter, will be starting a far lap as well. What happened to Crustier T? Had a bit of an issue through the castle section. Sogman was invalidated. Kaz on an out lap. Monkey Mafia's on an in lap. Spaceman did finish out that lap on a 44.5, so that puts him in 9th place on the grid. Although he did finish that lap out with wing damage, so could potentially see some improvement from him towards the end of the session. Here's Luke Riley into turn 3. Sparks, the last race is going to be short quality, just like the rest of them. Luke Riley, he's already got a 5/10 advantage over his teammate, and once again puts another purple sector. So Luke Riley looking to be very on the pace today. He did mention earlier that he felt like he had pace around this track, so definitely will be one to watch out for. And towards the castle section now. Oh, did he ever so slightly clip the wall there? Seems to be okay. Mexico is going to be the last round. That will also be our last race on. Oh, Luke Riley. Man, so tight margin on this lap so far. And yeah, that he's lost about 8/10 on his best time through that middle sector, it seems. And yeah, he's backed off his lap. Spaceman, yeah, he's 8/10 up as well. Sergeant, I'm not sure if he's pushing. Let's take a look at the sector lap here. And towards the end of the second sector. He did not get a delta, but a 1:16, so seems to be a somewhat decent time for the Renault driver. Could be setting himself up for another run as well right after this. Up to the line now. That's a 40.5, so a very solid lap time for him. He could go again on this run if he would to choose so. Here's Kaz flying up to the line. Yeah, going over the curve, you can definitely find quite a bit of time that way. It's much more difficult to pull off, though. So it's something that you got to take just right, or else you could very easily find yourself in the wall. But it is absolutely a way to gain a couple tenths there. Here's Highways on a flying lap now on the softs. Ooh, very close to the wall through turn 2. Once again, another one of our drivers who was on the podium a couple weeks ago in Bahrain. Showing some good pace so far this season. We're looking to keep that up here in the last couple races of the season. Through the middle sector now. Lovely short shifting, taking advantage of all the track. Towards a sharp right-hander, goes over the curb nicely. Mafia is about to start another flying lap. Oh, Highway's getting very close to the wall there. Seems to be a very solid lap so far from the Red Bull driver. There is taking the curve, and that's something that's what can so easily happen if you take that route. Probably save some time there, but you can see he's lost the downforce from that broken wing. And it's going to be a lot trickier to make it through this section flat out. Looks like he's going to be able to make it though. Here's what comes to the last minute of qualifying. Can Highways improve from his P8 position at the moment? Up to the line, and that's a 40.7. So that's up into 5th place for Highways. Both Mercedes drivers about to start a couple flying laps. Make sure the Turtle is on a flying lap. Ever so slightly up on his previous best. Coming in towards the final few braking zones of the lap. One second up through the second sector, so not sure if we're going to see an improvement here. Oh no, Highways, he had gone wide at turn 2 and he's been disqualified. That is very unfortunate because the game is very unforgiving with that. That is very unfortunate. He had the top 10 times that and he was looking good. Anyways, here's Krustier T and he's backed off his lap. Monkey Mafia will be next to set a time. He's on improvement, but I think he's setting himself up for one last run. So we've got Johnny in the Mercedes. Oh, very slidey through the castle section. That's going to cost him an awful lot of time. Not sure if he's going to be able to best his teammate's lap. Oh, speaking of Luke Riley, he's had a moment to exit of the castle section. So a professional pole sitter having some issues, and it looks like he's probably broken his wing as well. So K-Dog's going to be the next driver to set a time on the medium tires. Currently sitting in 8th place on the grid. Coming into the final hard braking zone now. Luke Riley, the only driver into the 39 so far. Nobody has been able to touch his time. Looks like K-Dog's backed off of this lap. So we'll get with Spaceman, who's going to be the next one to cross. According to Delta, it's 2 seconds up on his time, so this could be quite an improvement for Spaceman. Welcome to the stream, Kaz. Here's Spaceman into 8th place with a 41.5. Monkey Mafia next. He's going to get a tow from the AI car of Kaz here, which is going to be very fortunate for him. So Monkey Mafia could be setting in quite a lap here. Just about out of ERS, but let's see what time it is. It's a 40.6, so it's an improvement, but it's not going to be enough. So Monkey Mafia with a tow goes up into 4th place, and I believe that will be the end of qualifying. So Luke Riley will be on pole for this race. So run through the final grid order one more time. Luke Riley will start on pole alongside his Mercedes teammate in Johnny in second. Sognin will start third. Monkey Mafia fourth. Chris Money rounds out the top five. Kaz will start sixth. Sally the Turtle seventh. Spaceman eighth. K-Dog ninth. Krusty T 10th. Safkov starting 11th in his bid to keep his championship hopes alive. Just Secret will start 12th. Kraz starting 13th. And Highway starting 14th. So, very eventful grid it looks like. I think we're going to see quite a lot of exciting racing tonight. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the green flag. Alright, so it looks like we have what appears to be intermediate conditions to start off in this race. Not sure if it will stay that way. Yeah, I agree. Rain, especially at Baku, with how tight the walls are, I imagine we'll see quite a few broken wings tonight, especially through that tight middle sector. It's going to be a lot about survival and just putting yourself in a position to be able to make it to the end of the race. Alright, just a few seconds away from getting started here in Baku. Conditions are going to make this race even more treacherous. So we'll take a look at the tires everybody has on. I would expect to see intermediate tires for the majority of the grid, and yes, that is the case today. So not sure. The only thing we know about the weather is that it's gonna be some amount of rain, so could very well last the entirety of the race, which would be quite the endurance struggle for these drivers. 26 laps. It's not easy in the dry, it's going to be even more difficult in the wet. Got 14 viewers, nice to see it. Should be an exciting race today. Got some guys in the back who will be looking to make their way forward. Safkov starting in P11 today. Needs, again, must finish in either first or second to keep his championship hopes alive heading into the finale next week in Mexico. He was the winner last time out in Belgium. And he started from near the back of the grid last weekend. He'll need to do the same thing again today. First couple of corners might be a little bit chaotic, especially in the wet. Sometimes it's a short run down into turn 1, so you can see drivers making it through there. Okay, and then turn 2 is deceptively tight as well, so could be a couple pileups into that area of the track, but will be a Mercedes front row lockout today. Coming through the final sector now. Trying to get as much heat in these tires as possible. It's going to be a bit difficult here, especially at the start before any sort of rubber has been laid down. Even getting these cars started going in towards turn 1 is going to be difficult with the lack of grip that's going to be out there. Hopefully everybody can make it in through the first couple of corners okay. Mercedes on both ends of the front row. Gonna want to avoid having a Red Bull 2018 style event going down in towards turn 1. Hopefully they get it sorted. But we have the rest of the grid joining up to the back of the field, and we are about set to go here from Baku. No, this does not look good. Hopefully the game sorts itself out here. Oh, I've just had my game crashed.